Step number 4, it's related to the allocation of the contract price over the performance obligations. You remember in step number 2 we determined how many performance obligations. You remember the telecom company, we have telecommunication service and we have a phone device. Now in step 3 we determine the contract price. So in step 4 you need to allocate this contract price over the performance obligations that you determined in step number 2. How can we allocate the transaction price over the performance obligations? The first method that you need to use is to allocate this contract price on the performance obligation based on the standalone selling price of each performance obligation. So you need to see how much I am selling these telecom services alone and how much I'm selling this phone device alone. And accordingly, you will be able to allocate the transaction price over both of these performance obligations pro rata based on the fair price here for this one and the fair price here for this one. But what if you cannot determine the fair price of this one alone or this one alone? Here you can be able to use other methods. One of these methods that you can use if you cannot determine the price of one of these performance obligations alone is to use the residual method. I mean, if your contract price is 1,000 and the telecom services, for example, is 200. So the residual method means that allocate $200 to the telecom services and the remaining of the contract price will be allocated to the phone device. This is the meaning of residual method, and this is the second method that you can use. There are definitely other methods that you can use. One of them is to calculate the expected cost plus profit margin for each performance obligations, and accordingly you will be able to allocate the transaction price accordingly.